Last year, we made a video where we tried to establish the best way to commute to work. So I used my folding bike along with some rather dashing and fashionable green trousers and got the train. Matt, meanwhile, used his mudguard bike and took the scenic route. Lastly, got down and dirty using his cross bike off-road. And Si resembled a full-blown professional with full kit and a very aerodynamic bike as well. And Si technically won in that he arrived at work, or indeed the cafe which we met at, first. Not that this grates me in any way 1 year on. Anyway, we've been thinking, how much difference would it make in time if we pimped up somebody's commuting bike? Next to me is James. Thank you. Now, many of you will remember James as the genius designer and technician behind our homemade rollers. And he regularly commutes to work, which is about 14.5 miles from Bristol into Bath. And he does so using this. Thank you. Now, as you can see, it's a perfectly acceptable bike. It does the job. It's probably better than your average commute bike. It has a nice, comfortable position and a rather large and slightly unstable looking saddlebag on the back. But the question is this bike quite literally a waste of time? If you had something better, could you get to work earlier, as our boss would prefer, or maybe even get out of bed later? Well, to test this out, we are going to lend James this. We are going to lend James this. Thank you. The ultimate in speed and efficiency. This is a top-of-the-range Canyon aeroed CF SLX, and just as importantly, it has some incredible brand new Zip 808, some of the most aerodynamic wheels on the market, and to top it all off, it even has some of the most efficient tyres in terms of the fact that they have very little rolling resistance. However, first, James, we need to establish what your normal time into work is.
It's about an hour.
Well, I'm not sure I believe him, so let's go and test it. Right. Ready?
Yep.
Timer zeroed?
Yep.
Go. Now, I was having a quick chat to James this morning before we left, and he informed me that generally on his commute to work, he rides at quite a steady pace. So, not easy, but certainly not flat out either. As you can see, his bike currently puts him into a fairly upright, unaerodynamic, but quite comfortable position. He's got lycra shorts, mountain bike shoes and pedals, and a top which is, shall we say, well, quite baggy. Right, so you stopped your clock back there at the cafe. I did that deliberately because I like to do our conclusions at a cafe with a coffee. What time have you got?
I got 58:32.
Well, that's not bad, and that is very close to what you told us, so you weren't lying at all. All right, well, I'll see you in 24 hours. Okay. Have a good day at work.
You're not coming in?
No, I've done my work presenting this. I'll see you tomorrow. Oh, sorry I'm late.
It's all right, morning.
You ready?
Yep, let's go.
Day 2. Don't forget to start the timer.
Oh yeah.
Okay, James is now riding one of the best bikes that money can buy. It's put him in a much more aggressive and therefore aerodynamic position. We've also given him some slightly more, let's say, figure-hugging kit and an aero helmet as well. So it's all going to add up. Now he's taking exactly the same route to work, and importantly, the weather conditions today are almost exactly the same. In fact, if anything, I would say that the wind today is just slightly less favourable. Keep it going, James.
James has told me that he's going to ride at exactly the same intensity, but I've got a feeling that he's going to ride slightly harder. You see, if you think you're going to go faster, then the likelihood is that you will. So since he knows that the bike is definitely quicker than his normal setup, he'll probably put that extra bit of effort in too. But that's fine, speed is speed, however you get it.
All right.
right, we're there.
Nice riding. Stop the clock. Right, let's go and look at the results. Right, the results are in. Now yesterday, James, you will remember that you took 58 minutes and 32 seconds to ride from Bristol into work here in Bath. Well, today, you took just 52 minutes and 12 seconds. Now that, I've quickly worked out in my head, is a saving of 6 minutes and 20 seconds, which doesn't sound like particularly much. You can't do a whole lot with 6 minutes. However, James works blooming hard. So in total he does about 230 days of work a year. So that's potentially 460 rides. Multiply that by 6 minutes and 20 seconds and you get a total, just done this in my head, of 2,930 minutes, just a little over. Again, that probably doesn't mean very much to you, but that works out at just over 48.5 hours. And I'm sure you can work out what that is in days.
3, 2.
Well done, just over 2 days, which is a really significant saving. So what are you going to do with 2 extra days each year?
I think I'm going to sit around and grow my beard more.
Oh, right. I was expecting more work, more play, or more sleep.
No beard.
Anyway,
Yeah.
dread to think what it's going to look with 2 more days of grooming that. Anyway, saving that 2 days is not going to come cheap. A bike like that will cost James a pretty penny if he decides to do it. But what it does go to show you is that whilst money can't necessarily buy happiness, it can sometimes buy time. Now, if you would like to see our commuter video, which I talked about at the beginning of this one, from last year, you can find that by clicking just up there.
And if you want to watch me make some homemade rollers, which may or may not catch fire, you can click just down there.
And if you'd like to subscribe to GCN, as always, it is free, and all you've got to do today is click on James' already very well groomed beard. Potentially even more so next year.
Extra 2 days.
Yeah.
Amazing.